What's up, guys? Spin Firearms here. And honestly, in my opinion, you guys can say whatever you want, it's not going to change it, but in my opinion, the Glock 26 is the greatest handgun for concealed carry. It can do everything, it's extremely versatile, it's flat shooting, it's reliable, and especially in the Gen 5s, you can get the MOS ready and throw in the Glock OEM performance trigger, which is Glock's only aftermarket trigger, and it's pretty similar to a Timney Alpha trigger if you've ever shot one of those in its design as well as feel, and it's a beast of a setup. That is why it's my go-to. I haven't cleaned this thing in 5 months. Now, I haven't been carrying this one. I've been carrying my Gen 3, but I haven't carried or cleaned this in 5 months of shooting. You should see the inside of this thing. It's an absolute mess, but that thing just runs. It just doesn't stop. This thing just goes and goes and goes. That's why I love the Glock 26s. But it does have a little bit of a bigger brother, still a subcompact, which we'll talk about. That is the black sheep of the family. And what is that? That is the Glock 39, chambered in what? Wait, am I reading that correctly? Is that ACP? Wait a minute. GAP? 45G? Oh my goodness. Like the clothing store? What? No. Yes, no. That's 45 GAP. 100% cleared. Safety check prior to the video. Let's get into it. What is 45 GAP? Back in the day, Glock said, hey, a lot of people love 45 ACP, a lot of people are ride or die for it. Let's find a way to get the same exact ballistics as 45 plus P and throw it into a smaller frame handgun, right? Right here is a Glock 30. Before all the Glock 30 SFs and stuff like that, you know, this is basically the size difference. You can see how much bigger the Glock 30s are, right? They wanted a smaller firearm to still have the power of 45 ACP plus P. So CCI, Speer, and Glock got together and created a round called 45 GAP, Glock Auto Pistol. Now, if you notice something, same exact frame as a Glock 26 Gen 3, but you'll also notice something. It came from the factory with an extended slide stop. You'll also notice one more thing. Look at that. It sort of looks like a gap. That's actually because the slide comes out because it's a little bit thicker than the Glock 26, the Glock 27, the Glock 28, and the Glock 33, which are all subcompacts. So they all use the same exact frame, but the only handgun with a little bit wider slide is that Glock 39. And not a lot of holster companies know that because they advertise the 39 as being the exact same size. I've tried this in many Glock 26 holsters. It simply does not work. But anyways, what is this thing? Why is it the black sheep? And why did it never take off? Well, one, it didn't take off because 45 ACP was already invented. Plus 40 was invented. 357 SIG and 9mm. People started going to smaller rounds that can get more capacity in smaller setups. It's just a fact. And on top of that, better ballistics. Even though 45 is a solid round, I carry 45. I've even carried 45 GAP. There are better rounds out there. I'm not someone who cares what round you carry because, like I said, I've carried everything. 357 SIG, 380, 9mm. This 45 GAP, all sorts of stuff. And as long as they're reliable and you have a firearm on you, that's 78% of the battle. Now, what do I mean by that? 78% of self-defense encounters, you say, I have a firearm on me, you better, leave me alone. Or you draw it. You don't even have to let a round go. 78% of the time out of, on average, 1.7 to 3 million self-defense encounters in the United States every single year. So having a gun on you is 78% of the battle, regardless of caliber or anything, even if it's loaded. Now, obviously, have it loaded, but my point I'm making is 78% of the time, you don't even have to let a round go. The other 22%, it's sad, but you sort of have to. Anyways, they threw that OEM extended slide stop on there because of that thicker slide with a thinner frame. So actually a pretty interesting thing. But it also allows for a thinner grip for better concealability, right? The round is a shortened 45. That's all it is. It's overloaded, but it's shortened. So it gets just as good a ballistics out of as a 45 ACP while being smaller. That's what made it sort of genius. But once again, it just didn't take off. It's sort of like what 30 Super Carry is today. It was smart, it was cool, but no one actually jumped on it. Now, a lot of people in my comments have said, yeah, I have this Glock and I have this Glock and 45 GP, and I love it. And actually, this mag was sent to me from a subscriber, so I appreciate it and shout out to you. So some people still have this in existence, but it is very rare. Now, the number one complaint I get about it is you're never going to find ammo for it. Well, I've shot this handgun a lot, actually, and I love shooting it. For one, it's so smooth. Being this small has less recoil than my Glock 30. And on top of that, you're getting a beast of a power. Now, it's only 6+1 with the flush mag, but very small. 7+1 and in this case 8 plus 1. So this is 9 rounds of 45 GAP, a beast of a round. Now, like I said, they complain about finding ammo. That's just not true. The ammo is still in production, and nobody owns this firearm. So what does that mean? It's available. If I want to buy 45 GAP right now, I can go online and buy hundreds and hundreds of rounds. I ordered 250 rounds like a month ago. My buddy took me to a store nearby, and they had them on the shelves. I was sort of mind blown because you never see 45 GAP, but they had Buffalo Bore hollow points, Buffalo Bore hard cast. They had all sorts of stuff. So it is something you can still find, and like I said, it is being actively produced, I think, by CCI and Spears still to this day. Buffalo Bore makes defensive rounds for it, so you can find literally whatever. And I think Underwood even makes ammo for it. Now, like I said, it's not very popular. It's more of a collector's item, just so you can complete the set of all the subcompacts like I've done, the 26, 27, 28, 33, and 39. Sort of cool having them all, and that's basically why they released the Glock 28 in the first place. It's just for collectors. So is this something I would ever recommend for carry? One, yes, you can find these for really cheap some places. I know Glock rarely drops below 500 unless it's the 43X, 43, or 42, but I've seen these as low as $425. And if you can get that, and you can, train with it every now and then, and maybe shoot 45 ACP, I mean, I don't know what the case may be, but if you have a 45 ACP, train with that, and then carry Buffalo Bore. Make sure you test your firearm, but this thing will handle anything. It'll definitely do its job. It's definitely a great round. Just because it's not popular doesn't make it obsolete. Now, you don't get the capacity. You don't necessarily get the ballistics as other rounds, but a lot of people like oddball stuff like this and cool stuff like this. Do I carry this anymore? I do not. But at first I did. I have a lot of firearms that are 6 plus 1, 7 plus 1, 8 plus 1, and I feel fine just carrying those in certain areas, right? Other areas I go to, I'm going to have my Glock 26 with a 15-round mag, my Hellcat with a 15-round mag, Shield Plus with a 13-round mag, stuff like that. But the Glock 39, being a black sheep, the internet's going to be the internet, but I like stuff like this. I don't care what people say. I own what I own. I like what I like. I buy what I buy. I shoot what I shoot. I don't really care. This is just another piece of history that is actually pretty cool. And who knows later down the line, if it'll ever be brought back or there'll be a resurgence. I highly doubt it. And if you're wondering what sights those are XS sights. I really like the XS sights. I don't have the best vision, but those dots are just the easiest thing in the world to find in daytime and in the dark. Blacked out, textured rear. Absolutely love this setup. Handle at Edge Series grips, an X grip, just like you would use on a Glock 26, 27, 33, or 28, you can use on the 39. The only difference is that thicker, heavier slide that really helps absorb some of that recoil. And that, oh yeah, and check this out. The mags have metal there instead of polymer. It's sort of weird. I was always confused by that. All my 45 GAP mags have metal there instead of a little bit of strip of polymer. So let me know in the comments why that is. Thanks for watching. The Glock 39, the black sheep of Glock.